I'm Andrea Grant. I am actually the owner of 3 companies, Unique Transport LLC, Unique Transport 2 LLC, and Grant's Consulting Group. But today I'm going to be talking about Grant's Consulting Group and my superpowers there. So Grant's Consulting Group started many years ago informally because I got tired of seeing people, particularly women and underrepresented groups, not getting what they needed from their jobs and particularly not getting paid what they're worth. So I decided to formally start my company to help people realize the life that they want, even if they don't realize that they can have it. And so what I do is I help them maximize their potential and their earnings while being their authentic selves at work. So here I am, 20, pregnant, frustrated, scared, embarrassed, all eyes on me. I eventually give birth to a special needs son who is not breathing when he is born and requires a lot of care. His dad and I were together. There's a knock, actually a bang at the door. It's the federal marshals looking for him and questioning me in regards to his interesting behavior, we'll call it that. And so they end up whisking him away. I have this child by myself. He is sentenced to 60 months, which in federal time is 5 years. I now have this really sick child who needs all of my time and attention, love, affection. I know nothing about any of the medical stuff that's going on with him, but I have to learn pretty quickly. I have no support financially or otherwise. I have support from my family, but not his. And so I had to make a decision pretty quickly. And my decision was my son and myself. So I had to woman up. So I decided at that point I was going to move very quickly into making sure that I didn't ever get into this position again. So that was the beginning of me wanting to formulate my own companies, having multiple streams of income, and never having to rely on anybody ever again in my life. My son went through a series of different surgeries, tests, everything that you could possibly name while his dad was away. And I just used that anger and that fear and that embarrassment and shame because I was a Christian girl, right? My dad's a cop. I'm a PK twice, right? I'm a police kid and a preacher kid. So none of this looks good for me. So I decided to use all of that to fuel what is now my success. One of my biggest lessons that I have learned is that I have very high expectations of myself, so naturally I have them of others, and I've had to learn on my journey that not everybody has expectations of themselves that I have for me or of them. I used to let it really just get under my skin to the point where I would lose sleep, get stressed out, get frustrated and all of that, and I had to learn that's their issue, it's not mine. I need to keep going. And I can only be responsible for me and how I react and respond to others. And so that's how I go into every engagement, conversation, whether it's business or personal, that's how I approach everything, is with that same rigor. I also keep that same level of expectation, but I've been able to learn and not get so angry or frustrated or discouraged or distracted by what others are doing or not doing. So I focus on me, I get the job done, and that's all that matters.
It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown. I just want to speak to you, the speaker, or maybe not even a speaker, right? Maybe you're not a speaker, but you have a message inside of you that you want to release, or maybe you have a story, right? A story of your life, a story in your career, or maybe as you're listening right now, you're an expert, right? You're an expert at teaching people how to do something. You're an expert at raising kids. And I want you to imagine for a moment that you had an opportunity to share your message or your story on a bigger stage. And I'm going to talk about that in a moment and what that would mean for you if you could reach your target audience. If you're an entrepreneur, if that target audience got associated to the problem that you solve, or if you're a super entrepreneur with sales funnels out there, not only did it get associated to who you were, but they were able to join your list. Now, for other folks, that won't make no sense at all. But for you, the entrepreneur, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I want to invite you over to something called the Comeback Champion Summit. And the whole purpose of the Comeback Champion Summit is really to do one thing, which is one word, and that is possibilities. That's right. When you get a chance to get on stage, you get a chance to do it virtually, and some of you maybe in person, and you get a chance to share your story. So something deep inside of you. I always say your message, because some of you have a message or your expertise. Then guess what happens? 3 things happen. Number 1, you get to make a difference. And isn't that why you are on this earth? I mean, I don't want to get emotional here, but you're really on this earth to make a difference for someone else. Something has happened to you so it can go through you to someone else. And being able to speak on a platform that provides an audience, it's like having a microphone that allows you to help more people faster. So that's number 1. Number 2, when you're on a platform, I'm gonna invite you to the Comeback Champion Summit, you get a chance to have more meaning in the world, to have more impact, and to have more influence. And that's really who we're looking for. We're looking for folks out there who have an interest, want, or desire of serving others. So if that's you, I'm gonna invite you to go over to www.comebackchampionsummit.com. Again, comebackchampionsummit.com. Click the button, it'll say apply to speak. Go through the process. And if it's a good fit, can't wait to share your story over at the Comeback Champion Summit or any one of our platforms that serves other folks. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone, and we'll make some good things happen. We connect again real soon. See you out.
So if I could go back and talk to my 21-year-old self, there's a lot I would say to her, but there are 3 things in particular. Well, first, you remember I told you about my son. So I was taking care of him. He was 1. We were preparing for brain surgery. And so I would tell myself, no matter how much you plan or prepare for anything, stuff is going to happen that you just can't control. And so you just need to keep moving forward. You just need to stay focused on what's most important. I've actually learned over the years of the 10-10-10 rule. I've taught it to my son. And so basically what it means is if it's not going to matter in 10 years, 10 months, or 10 minutes, then you need to let it go. And so I've learned that. So that would be the first thing I would tell my 21-year-old self. Dovetailing into that, I used to put a lot of pressure on myself time-wise. I would compare myself to others as far as what I had achieved, not achieved, both business-wise, personally, or whatever, financially, romantically, all of those kinds of things. And so what I would tell myself is that I am my own timekeeper. I can hold myself accountable, and I'm responsible for when and how things happen from a time perspective. The third thing I would tell myself is you are so much more strong and resilient than you will ever know. And based on those other scenarios that I gave you, I know that. I'm using all 3 of those now because I just had an incident with one of my trucking companies where one of my trucks had gone in for VDOT repair and inspection and installation of equipment in preparation for the snow that we haven't gotten yet this season. My truck was supposed to be there for 3 days maximum. It was there for 2 weeks. So that meant downtime, no income coming in, a really ticked off driver. And so I learned to apply those 3 principles to that particular scenario that I would also apply to my 21-year-old self. I have a lot of really good things coming up. So starting with the trucking companies, I am actually getting ready to take a workshop so that I can get both of the companies SWAM certified. I'm also in discussion with a major organization in regards to becoming 8A certified and women-owned. So I am getting ready to make even more of an impact as the unicorn I am in that space. I'm also focusing on the consulting business with regards to adding more larger keynotes, television segments, and other media spots to highlight the importance of maximizing potential at work. So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working for someone else, whatever it is, right? I just want you to be the best at it, and I want you to make the most money you possibly can by doing it. I also want people to have more inclusive leadership in whatever they're doing, right? So all the other represented groups, I want them to know and feel like they can be themselves wherever they are, and that they don't need to feel invisible or hidden anymore. One of the stories I think about with regards to kind of taking it to the next level is I have to remind myself not to judge a book by its cover. I was at an event. I have to network a lot for all of my businesses, particularly the consulting business. And I knew of a lady that was known to be extremely, we'll say, conservative. And also, she was hard, right? She was difficult. She had this reputation for just being a difficult person. I'm sure you guys don't know anybody like that, but I do. And so she approached me about using my services. So I was caught off guard, but I was also really skeptical, right? Because here I am thinking, you know, she's a chief HR officer asking me about my services and what I can do to help her. I was really reluctant. I'll be honest, I didn't want to work with her, right? Because I knew of her personal beliefs. However, we ended up working together, and I helped her end up getting not only moved to a bigger organization, same title, but a lot more visibility, responsibility, including some board liaisons. And she got an immediate $25,000 salary increase. And then we negotiated for her to get all kinds of other perks. So that's one of the stories that I learned with that. And so I'm going to keep using those lessons as I keep elevating, advancing, getting more certifications and things like that to become better myself, and then leverage those to help people become better. People work with any of my companies for a variety of reasons. Some of the main reasons are all of my businesses, whether it's trucking or consulting, is relationship based. And then the other reason is results. Duh. So what I mean by that is relationship-wise, they know that they're going to get honest, transparent, sustainable work, whether I'm hauling sand, gravel, dirt, rocks. It doesn't matter, right? They know that it's going to get done safely and in the manner in which it's supposed to be done. They know that my staff is going to keep that same reputation in place as they're doing their job. On the consulting side, yes, it's relationship-based as well, and it's definitely results. My average client that is either looking for a job in its entirety, looking to change careers, or looking for a promotion, usually sees that happen in about a 4-week time period. So once we do their resume and their LinkedIn and do a little preparation, they are usually moving into that dream position in about 4 weeks, regardless of the economy. So even in the coronavirus time when nobody was really hiring, we still got it done. Also, maximizing income. You've heard me say it repeatedly. That's extremely important because remember, I was at a time when I didn't have a lot, right? I didn't have what I have now, and I had to work 3 or 4 jobs to be able to take care of my son. So for people to be able to make the most money possible, that's important for me as well. I also have this real passion for underrepresented groups. You've heard me talk about that a lot. And so that is also what we focus on. Meaning, I don't care if you are LGBTQIA+, if you're a veteran, if you have neurodiversity, I really don't care. I will respect you and treat you the same. However, we will also leverage those differences as a differentiator to make sure that you're the best candidate, not only for the job, but that you can negotiate to get exactly what you're supposed to have when you're supposed to have it. There's not just one thing that I've enjoyed about this journey. It's comprehensive, right? It's the whole thing, from preparation to planning to being made to feel like a star, right, throughout the whole process. Being made to feel like I'm the only client that matters, right, or that they're working with, which is important because being in client-based services, that's really critical. Also knowing the results, right? I'm really, really big on results, and so knowing the results are really critical for me. And then relationship, right? So I know some of the key players, and I know what they do. I know their reputation. I know what they're capable of, and so I'm excited to see how that's going to come into fruition and how it's all going to manifest for me.
Thank you so much for watching the Making of an Entrepreneur DocuSeries. I just want to take a moment to talk to you. That's right, you that's watching right now. You the mom, or maybe you're the dad, Or maybe you're an entrepreneur, or perhaps you're an auntie or uncle, but you're someone out there that has a heart to give, you have a heart to serve, and as you're watching this Making of an Entrepreneur docuseries, you may be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I've had some life lessons, I've had some setbacks, I've had some experiences, I've gone through some things that have helped me become a better person, and I want to take that and I want to release that to other folks. Okay. Maybe you're a speaker and you're already doing it. Maybe you've written books and you've already done that. Or maybe the story that's inside of you, the expertise that's inside of you, the message inside of you, this is the right platform for you to make a bigger difference and a bigger impact in the world. Now, this whole Making of an Entrepreneur docuseries, if you had to sum it up in just one word, and it's kind of hard to do that, but as I'm talking to you and you're listening right now, you might be saying, Shay, what's the one word? And the one word I would say is just legacy. Legacy. There's a legacy I understand that you want to leave for your family, and I get that. But there's also a legacy of your knowledge. There's a legacy of your expertise. And think about this. You're able to share your message or share your story or share your expertise. And long after you're gone, they still have a window into the soul of who you are and the impact that leaves behind. If that's you and you someone that's want to get the information, you're someone that's ready to do something bigger than just your business and bigger than just making more money, but you want to have more meaning in the world, do me a favor. Go over to www.themakingofanontrepreneurdocuseries.com. I know that's a long email, a long address, but I want you to hear it again one more time. Themakingofanoentrepreneur.com. Now, when you get there, just put your first name and your last name and your phone number and information in there. Worst case scenario, you have a meeting with the team and decide, hey, me being a cast member, this isn't a good fit, but I had a lot of fun. Best case scenario, you decide to take a step. Folks understand your backstory, understand what you've been through, and the world is much better off while you're here. And when the day comes and you decide to transition and move on, it's still doing very, very well. So with that being said, I just want to pop in. Thanks a lot for watching the Making of an Entrepreneur series. My name is Shay Brown. I want to encourage you to continue to watch, and I'll see you at the next episode. God bless.